The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Doing it live. Hi, welcome to the Ring and All the Sports. My name is Leo Connors. I'm your host, along with my tag team partner and co-host, Derek Dukes.
I'm excited tonight, brother.
Oh, so am I.
I'm excited tonight.
And tonight, we got a special guest. We got pro wrestler, owner of the Test of Strength Wrestling School in Watertown, Connecticut, the Underground King, Slyck Wagner Brown.
One of my boys right here. How you doing, Wag?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Good, brother. Good to
great.
see you, brother. Good to see you.
You want to start this off?
I would love to start this off, man. I'd love to start this off.
How we started off.
I would love to start this off.
So go right ahead.
Wagner and I go really, really, really far back, like literally to the beginning of his career.
Nice.
When Wagner and the 2K Club were doing their thing and so on and so forth, is when Tony Rumble introduced me to, like I was telling you, introduced me to Taz and Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman and all these guys. So that's how I started to go work over for ECW. And, of course, Wagner, what were you, about 96 or 97 when you broke
No,
in?
97 going to 98.
97 to 98, that's what it was. Thank you. Okay, yeah, because I started with ECW, I believe it was spring of 98.
Nice.
So that's when I remember, because I met you in 97. Green as the day is long.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at you, bruh. Look at the names. Look at the people. Look at the names that you've faced, that you've put over, that you've done, the things you've done, that you've trained, the titles you've held, all over the country where you've been. I mean, as a friend, because Wagner, of course, I go way back. As a friend, I'm proud of you, brother. You've done great things in professional wrestling, and I just want to say you do a great job, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
One love, my friend.
Yeah,
one love.
no doubt. I've been a friend of Slyck since I'm a fan of Slyck since I first saw him. Sarah loved him, Isaiah, everything. So, well, we all know. Well, not everyone, but you were trained by Killer Kowalski.
Yes.
Now, was Killer still in the ring when you started training? Was he still getting in the ring?
Yeah, he was still getting in. I mean, not as much as the class before us, but when I was there, he was still getting in a little bit. You had to piss him off really good, but he'd get in there.
When you pissed him off, he came in and stretched you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wagner will tell you he could stretch somebody. He could definitely stretch somebody.
Doubt.
Now, Wagner, your class at Walters, can you just give me a few names and who was in your particular class?
You had Matt Bloom, A-Train, Tensai. He's one of the trainers out in Performance Center now, WWE.
We're proud of him.
You had Tim McNeely.
Yep.
He's a veteran of the underground scene.
Definitely.
You had Trey, smooth operating gangster.
Yes,
he's another veteran of the underground scene. I'm trying to think. You had Dukes Dalton.
Yes.
Who did a lot of stuff in chaotic wrestling.
Yep.
I think Aaron and John Walters, they were after me, a couple years after me.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are some of the guys in my class. You had a lot of other guys too that you probably wouldn't recognize on the indie scene, but you get a lot of other guys too. But those are the guys that come off the top of my head.
Okay. Now did you go to school with Bo?
I did. I did.
Because I remember when Bo was on, he was telling us about that, how you guys went to school. You guys were two friends that just loved wrestling.
Yeah, Bo's one of my best friends in the business, man. If it wasn't for him, I probably would have never even, made that contact with Kowalski, because he's the one that brought it up to me. I didn't have no idea that Kowalski's was in Malden, Yep. We grew up in Somerville, so, Somerville, Malden, Medford area, you know what I'm saying? And he found out about the school, and he shared that information with me. We used to wrestle backyard like everybody else.
Yeah, we all did, brother.
Right?
Yeah, mess around in the basement, and then eventually moved up to the boxing clubs like
Yep.
boxing gym, Soma boxing gym, and that's all to him, man. That's his vision, Bo's vision. He set all that stuff up and did all that, and then we had an opportunity to go legit, and when we found Kowalski's.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice.
I mean, you, brother, the plethora of names that you've faced in your career in the organizations you've worked for. I mean, everywhere from Samoa Joe to going all the way to. Actually, wait a minute. Did you ever fight Johnny?
John
Curtis?
Did you ever fight Johnny Curtis?
No, man, I don't even know if me and Johnny ever crossed paths
Oh, wow.
before,
I
but
thought you did.
I know he's really close with Antonio Thomas.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
And I crossed paths with Tom, obviously, but I'm not sure. I don't remember if I crossed paths with Johnny or not, because I know he started out in Maine. And,
Right.
We used to go up to Maine too, but
For
I'm not
Tony
sure
Atlas.
if he did yeah.
Okay.
Well, the companies that he's worked for, too, I mean, you're talking about local ones down here. He's been down in Jersey and overseas
Yep.
and all that. I mean, you worked for what? New Japan? You
Yeah.
worked for New Japan?
I did.
Yeah. And which 012?
0-1 Max, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, was Carino involved in that one when you were down there? Steve Carino?
He was, but I'm not sure if he was still like heavily involved as he was before.
Okay.
But I know he was still involved at that time. Yeah,
Was Hashimoto still there, or was he already? Did he already
No.
pass?
he already passed.
He'd already passed. Yeah, that was a shame, man.
Yeah, it was. That was terrible. What a worker.
Unbelievable.
What a great worker.
No, but
Yeah, he was definitely one of the biggest names over there.
Definitely.
yeah. But I mean, did you work Dan Marf?
I have, yeah.
So that's what I knew. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah. There we go. Okay.
What about Christopher Daniels too? Right?
Christopher Daniels, yeah, we go back, man. I worked with Chris. I trained with Chris in California for a little while too, man. When I went out to the dojo they had over there,
Yep.
where John Cena and all those guys
Yep.
trained.
Nice.
So what I'm saying, I worked out with Chris there. So UPW, yeah, Ultimate Pro Wrestling,
Yes.
I believe.
Yep.
Correct. Okay.
With Bassman, right? Rick Bassman.
Yep, Bassman, yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll do this a couple times. Why don't you tell us about your wrestling school now, and we'll do it at the end too.
Okay,
So-
that works. It's Test of Strength Wrestling, man. I created that dojo maybe like 2 years ago.
Yep.
We started out in Norm's Gym, which is a nice facility out in Waterbury, Connecticut, and then eventually we decided to do our own thing. So I got my own space last year. You know what I mean? So now we got our own space, and we've been doing our thing over there, man.
Love
It's a fun place to be. I mean, we take wrestling seriously.
Good.
And we train guys the right way and teach them the basics, which is what you need to succeed in this business.
Amen to that.
Right. And that's at 127 Echo Lake Road,
Yeah.
Watertown, Connecticut.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now you got something coming up real big this week, don't you?
Yeah, man. Got Top Rope Promotions out in Brockton, I believe. It's gonna be me versus Jason Blade.
Whoa.
So we faced out before out there, and I know Jason a long time.
Right.
And I know it's going to be an exciting, fun match for
Yeah, it
people to see.
definitely will.
And then the following night we got Liberty States Wrestling, where I'm wrestling Luis Ortiz, man, and we go way back.
Wow, you go way back.
Yeah.
That's another name that I forgot. Oh man, that he was in my class. Louis was in my class.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Damon Darkangel was in my class.
Yep.
Wow.
And Steve King, he was before us. He was in the
Okay.
class before. He was in like the trade class,
Okay.
Tim class. Yeah.
Well, you'll be taking on your former 2K club, Luis Ortiz. He was in that with you and Jason,
Ortiz.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Me, Jason,
that's
and Louis.
That's going to
Wow.
be awesome. All right, listen,
Yeah,
we
so-
had Evan Six on earlier,
Yeah.
and he told us we had to ask you this.
Go ahead.
What's your 5 favorite actors? I have no idea why he's having us ask you this, so.
My 5 favorites.
Yeah.
Well, number 1 is Denzel.
All right.
Then we got Al Pacino.
Yep.
We have what's his name there? Leonardo DiCaprio. What's that? 3?
Yeah, that's 3.
I'm trying to think. What's his name?
Bo Douglas.
No.
There's a little love for you, Bo.
Those are my top 3, man. You could probably throw any 2 in the final mix, but I'd probably say Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what's this dude, man? What's this dude?
See, that's probably why he did it to him.
What's this dude, man?
Jack
Nicholson.
Who's that?
Jack Nicholson?
Nah, not Jack Nicholson, man.
Christopher Walken.
Who's that? Evan?
We don't even know why. You didn't tell us why to ask you this question. We have no idea
He
why.
just had to ask you.
No, we had a thing in the locker room one time when we were going over top 5, and his list was kind of crazy. That's why.
We should have asked Evan what kind of music he liked.
Should have asked him. I know.
Oh, we'll have to hit him up later on Facebook or something and ask him.
Well, I mean, Wagner, you've been through so many different organizations and who you've worked for, and now you know me personally, and I love to shoot. You know I love to shoot, Wag.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, there's another thing on this show. Not that we want to hurt anybody or stop laughing. Not do we want to hurt anybody or want to, but we really like to shoot on this show because people want to know the real people. So real quick, I just want to say that what Todd said. People it hasn't been aired, but Evan got the call and Jose got a call, and it got pretty bad. Bad,
Yeah.
So if there's anyone in particular you'd like to shoot on, you can break in at any time, my brother.
Well, we like to play a game called the Name Game here.
Okay.
So we'll go through some names. Yeah, start.
Oh,
anywhere.
yeah,
We'll-
you know what?
We got plenty of time, so you can probably get through every name.
Oh, let's do some shooting. Let's do some shooting, Wagner.
You got to the shooting quick.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do the shooting real quick.
You can shoot on this guy. I know you don't like him.
Yeah, but I'd rather start with the other one.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Mr. Wagner Brown. How about Dan Murad or Muradi?
Muradi, whatever his name is.
Muradi.
Yeah.
A lot of people got heat with Dan Muradi, man.
He does.
But I got no heat with Dan, man.
Me either.
Dan has always been good to me. He had a good thing going with the MWF and in Wakefield, and he booked a nice building, and he brought in names that he would recognize and put some asses in the seats so we can do our thing. So I got nothing bad to say about Dan, man. He's always taking good care of me. He's always taking good care of me.
And I will say, those shows were awesome. I mean, bringing in Homicide, Jay Lethal. I mean, some older stars, too, some old WWE guys, but Awesome Kong. I mean, I was at a lot of those shows. I used to sell my merchandise there and stuff. And, matter of fact, that was the last place Sarah saw you wrestle. You were a heel. She was about 9 years old, maybe. And everybody was booing you. And she looked at me and she's like, why are they booing her? I told her. And you walked by and you kind of lifted your glasses up and winked at her. And she was like, oh, my God. She don't go to shows with me no more because I'm too loud and I get into it too much and she's embarrassed.
Right.
I took her and her girlfriend to the Bruins game the other night, spent $250. They went to the game. I didn't even go because the tickets were so expensive. I sent them in. Me and Maria hung around in Boston. It was like 10 degrees out, so we didn't go very far.
No.
Went to Halftime Pizza, Dunkin' Donuts, and that was it.
Hit him.
How about John Cena Sr.?
John Cena Sr. Another one, man. I got nothing bad to say about Johnny, man. John's a good guy. He's, what I'm saying? He's always willing to help, and he'll do anything for the show, man. He'll do anything for the show. And if you're a heel and you want to get some heat, there's no better guy to have
Amen to
that.
that.
Than John
Amen
Cena.
to that.
Right. Pick your name.
Brad Von Johnson.
The Doc. Is that the Doc? The Doc?
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
That's a Doc, right?
Yeah.
B-Rad, I don't know, man. I only know Brad from Dan's events.
Yep.
Yeah.
That he would do security or the door gimmick.
Yep.
And once again, he always took care of me. If I needed somebody, I mean, Dan can get mad at us now because he's not doing the shows no more.
Yeah,
But
right.
if I need somebody to get in without paying a ticket price, Dan, B-Rad was
That's
my guy.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So he took care of us because Dan, you only get one comp, if that, maybe half. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you're like this then. I told Derek this earlier off air. When I used to sell my merchandise at Dan's shows, you know how we used to do the VIP thing and give books away to the fans that would come and pay the extra money? Well, Brad would
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, he would bring me the books for free. He would just come off the elevator and he'd me like 5 books at a time, and I'm like, this is awesome.
No, yeah,
He used to call me on the phone and drive me nuts. Every person that he talked about, he would like shoot and talk trash about. There wasn't one guy he would mention that he like talked nicely about.
Nope.
It was crazy.
Let's go.
Who's this, Brad?
Yeah.
Yo, yeah, he was.
So he's good for this. He's good for this segment.
Yeah,
he definitely is. We had a nickname for him, Wagner, and we're gonna be on it tonight anyway. But we called him Shit Pants.
Shit pants.
Yes.
Who's we?
Oh, there was a few of us.
At least you and Bob, right?
Well,
At least
we were going to an event and Brad was driving.
Yeah.
So Brad driving, Dan in the front seat. I got Dustin to my left, and I got Jay Lethal, and again, with the Motor Machine Guns. I don't know why I keep doing
Chris
this.
Sabin.
And Chris Sabin to my
I remember
right.
him when he was on them shows, yeah.
So we're just sitting there and we're just doing our thing and we're talking, and all of a sudden, out of the front seat goes, "Oh my God, we got to pull over. I got to go to the bathroom." We're like, "All right, well, go to a gas station." The minute that happened, we're like, "Okay, we're gonna stop at the gas station." All of a sudden, I see Jay Lethal's face just start melting. He's like, and this smell comes over the car. So I get this from Lethal, and I look over and he goes. So he points to him and goes, "He just shit himself."
Yeah.
I'm like,
he didn't make it.
I'm like, nah, it's all right. It's good. So we finally get to the gas station. The guy gets out, does his thing. So we're sitting there outside the car, letting it air out a little bit. So we all get back in the car, but we notice that Brad brings out, he had a whole bunch of newspapers and starts lining his seats and floor with newspapers.
You're lying.
Oh, so he
Shoot.
shit himself.
So
Y'all should have called an Uber.
So it wasn't no Uber back then, Wag. So we're almost to the event. He lines it all up, gets back in the car. So we figured, okay, maybe clean him. No. He just went in, he grabbed a drink, and came back out.
You're lying.
Shoot.
Wow.
Yeah, I would have walked.
So sitting behind him was Gold Dust. It was Dustin, right?
Yeah.
And Dustin the whole time, it must have been another 15 minutes. He kept going, Jay Lethal, and you know Jay to my right, looking like a dog stuck, like in the corner, like all scared. And Sabin with his head out the window. I'm in the middle, Wagner. We got to that event, and the car was still rolling when we jumped out.
I bet. Y'all braver than me, man.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Swear to God, shoot, Wagner, shoot.
Who do you want to go with?
That would have been an opportunity to create Uber back then.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I wish
definitely.
wish Uber was around back then. Let's go with that. You know what? Hey, Wagner.
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
about Eddie
Yeah.
Edwards.
Let's talk about Eddie.
Eddie,
Edwards.
man. Eddie's a good dude, man. Good guy. He's doing great things. He's got an opportunity with TNA, Ring of Honor, you name it, man.
Yep.
He's worked his way from the very bottom all the way up to the top. You know
Yeah,
what
we're
I'm saying?
proud of him.
When he walked through the doors, man, I mean, there is no way for you to tell that he would have done the things that he did.
Right,
'Cause
amen.
He was a shy kid.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really in shape, but from day one, he had a work ethic that was unmatched.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
He came to every class.
Right.
He was like the first guy in, last guy
Yep.
out. He was extremely coachable and just an overall kind-hearted, good dude.
Right.
we made fun of this kid. We made fun of E like religiously. Like 4 days a week, we would hammer this dude. So like anybody else would have never came back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But we made fun of him and ribbed him and just laid into him day in and day out, and he just kept coming back. And like that's how you know, like
Exactly.
some guys will beat your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
But we just made fun of this dude over and over and over, and he kept coming back.
Right.
So like we were like, this dude definitely wants it. And whenever there was a chance to jump in the car with me or anybody to go to a show in his early days, he did it, man. No excuses. Whatever needed to be done, he did it. So props to him.
Nice.
Yeah, we're definitely very proud of him too. Wagner, I want to kind of switch it up a little bit, if you don't mind, because I want to hear from you, because I know, like I said, we know each other personally for a long time. So, but I want to hear from your mouth your favorite match.
Yeah.
Who you faced? Your favorite. I mean, even if you have one or two, that's great. But what's your favorite match? Who's your favorite guy?
My favorite match.
I got to tell you though, Wagner, that one with Samoa Joe brought the house down.
Yeah, that's probably what I would say. The one in Binghamton, New York.
Yes,
for,
that brought the house down.
CW?
2CW.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was probably my biggest and best moment, because Joe was on TV with TNA.
Yep.
He was super over.
Right.
Whenever those guys would come to independent events, they were always cheered and treated as a babyface. They were always good guys.
Yep.
Because they were on TV.
Yep.
But when we had that match and he came to Binghamton and came to 2CW, those fans, they totally like had my back and supported me and showed me love, and he couldn't believe it, because that's not how it usually goes down.
Oh yeah, of course.
Come to the event. So those fans, they totally gave him all the heat and cheered the shit out of me, and it was great. It was a great moment, because like I'm the guy that's always there.
Right.
And then Joe's the guy coming in.
Yep.
So usually, it's easy to cheer that guy.
Oh yeah,
But
gotta believe it.
They stood their ground and showed support for the hometown dude,
Yeah, I like
man.
that.
It was
That
great.
is
I like
awesome.
that. I like that. Let's go with DC.
All right, we're going to stay with like Eddie Edwards and that clique,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
For, DC.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one, I know.
Dave's another guy, is one of my best friends in the business, man. We weren't just like I wasn't just his trainer and he was my student, or like classmates, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we hung out outside of wrestling, and been to his home, he's been to my home. We've done Christmases together and stuff like that. So we were really close, and Christmas was his favorite holiday. So, we'd always get together at his house and celebrate Christmas, the whole group of us.
Yeah.
When Mike Hollow was training at Kowalski's, he was a trainer.
Yep.
Him and Dave didn't click. They didn't see eye to eye.
A lot of people didn't.
Yeah. So Dave disappeared for a while. So I didn't see him for a few weeks, maybe a month or two. So, I went to his house and I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Talk to him. And, he shared with me that he didn't get along with the trainer, and, he didn't like how he felt when he was there.
Right.
So I said, man, you're not there for the trainer. You know what I'm saying? You're there to do something that you want to do.
Right.
So don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. You're the only person that can do that.
That's right.
So I said, if this is what you really want to do, come back
Nice.
and keep training. And he did.
He did.
And he did a lot of things. He didn't get opportunity to do, major league stuff, but the stuff that he did do, he did it to the best of his ability, and
Amen.
he knocked it out of the park.
Amen.
Right. One of the best heels in New England for sure.
Absolutely. He knew how to get heat. Like a lot of guys, their role is to be bad guys, but they want to be loved. They want to be liked. And
Not Dave.
Dave understood that if I'm going to be a bad guy, I'm going to be the best bad guy I can be. I'm going to get that fucking heat.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yep,
That's your job.
No doubt. And sticking with those guys, Sean Gorman.
Sean Gorman. I mean, Sean's another guy that, I mean, wrestling wise, I didn't get to do a lot of stuff with Sean. Like, I wasn't like on the same shows and get to see him work a lot. Like, I saw him a few times in like Chaotic Wrestling, and I saw him when he came back to NECW when NECW recognized Dave Shitty, which is Eddie Edwards, and DC and Sean. But from watching stuff like online, like YouTube stuff, Sean definitely had the ability to do a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If given the opportunity. I don't know what opportunities he had or whatnot, but Sean is definitely one of the best talkers on this level, on any level, but definitely on this level.
Absolutely.
I'm going to...
I want to just do this one first. And then we'll
yes,
go.
please,
Yeah.
definitely.
What about George Carroll and all the good things coming his way right now?
Oh, George is doing his thing, man. That big-headed George, man.
Yeah, right?
30-pound head George, man. George is the man, bro. I've had a lot of, the chance to hang out with George because of Dave and Shitty. So, I got to know George pretty good, and George is a good guy. He's definitely got one of the biggest hearts that I've come across. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
He's a good dude, and he'll give you the shirt off his back.
I talked to him a while ago after, DC had passed, and hopefully we're going to get him to come on one of these days with Sean, and we'll do a whole show about DC.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be good.
Good, Derek.
All right, Wagner. I'd like to bring up one of my unicorns.
Yeah.
You know what a unicorn is, right, Wagner? Mythical
New Day, right?
Mythical creature that can't be caught. Nikki Rocks.
Nikki Rocks. Okay. What are you asking me?
So she was actually, didn't she train with you at your school? Like, wasn't she one of your trainers?
No, you were one of her trainers.
She trained at Walter. She trained at Kowalski's.
Right.
Nikki was when I met Nikki, she was dating Dave at the time.
Yes.
So Nikki would come to every class. So Nikki wasn't training, but she was there a lot.
Yep.
Just on the sidelines, observing, taping, whatever you needed her to do, she would do it. And we only had one female student at the time, April.
Yep.
One female student. So while it was good that she got to work with the guys a lot, she wanted another girl there.
Yep.
Right.
So she asked Nikki if she'd be interested in training, and she was, but she couldn't afford it. So I spoke to Walter and worked out a deal where, she would, promote the school and whatever needed to be done, she would do it. And she did. And when she got in between those ropes.
Yeah. She was all business.
You knew what it was going to be.
Oh, yeah. She was all business.
She got it. Nikki did her thing. She made it all the way up to TNA, and she was definitely one of the standout girls in the business, and especially from this area, from the Northeast.
And it's funny that you said that she promoted the school, because the first time I met her was when Stone Cold went to our Sports World, Phil's store.
Yeah.
And she was there with Dave and Eddie, passing out flyers, standing in front of the building, man. She was promoting the school.
Better believe it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, who do you want?
I don't know. Pick somebody.
Warbeard Hanson.
Warbeard. Todd. I've wrestled Todd a few times, and it's always been good working with Todd. Todd is he started out with Bo, I believe, and he's done. I mean, the dude's in Japan now doing his thing.
Doing his thing, man.
So every time I got an opportunity to work with Todd, it's been good. He's he understands the basics of what we do, and he understands the psychology of what we do.
Yep.
Not a lot of guys have both. Todd, one of those guys that do. Todd understands what we're doing and what needs to be done, and I'm not surprised to see what he's doing.
Nice.
Jason Rumble?
Yep.
Jason Rumble.
Another one of my close friends, man. Jay's one of my best friends. We started out in the game together. We both started training at Walters in the late 90s. Jay's a good dude. Again, you talk about he loves his Bob Marley, but you talk about you talk about a dude that would give you the shirt off his back. That dude would, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you need, man, he would do it for you, especially if you were a friend.
Amen.
Jay has a big heart. He's a good dude.
Yep.
He's still doing his thing. We did a 2K club thing together. That was great.
Yep.
Funny story. We're training, right? So we're both training at Kowalski's, and we're about a couple months in, and we finally get a booking. So it was supposed to be me and Jane as a tag team, right? So we got our first match booked as a tag team. So we're doing our thing, you know what I'm saying, training. These are some of the things that we might want to do, you know what I'm saying, working on shit. It was great. Jay loved football.
Yep.
So outside of training, he would be playing football.
Right.
Next thing I know, Jay shows up at the dojo with a crutch and his leg, all wrapped up in like some kind of cast or whatever. This dude knows we have a booking and goes out and plays football and gets hurt before our booking. I'm like, who does that? We're busting our ass to get an opportunity.
Right.
We got one, and Jay said, "Nah, too soon."
Too soon.
me and Jay did a lot of Bob Marley over the years.
He does.
Me and Jay. Oh,
He
yeah.
does love Bob Marley.
Every time I see him, we're usually Bob Marley.
Yep.
Sam.
Well, do you want to go with Mr. Hollow here?
Sure, we'll go. Mike Hollow.
Oh man, y'all dangerous, man. Y'all dangerous.
Oh, good. Shoot on him, I hope.
Yeah.
Shoot. Come on, baby.
We're not. Let's just say we've never been on the same page. Let's just say that. I had a different experience with Mike, at the dojo than probably most guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I have forgiven and moved on from that shit since then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I definitely feel like when I reflect and think about things that I didn't get a fair shake from him at the dojo because I was one of the guys. I was there all the time. You know what I'm saying? I never missed a class.
Yep.
Right.
I bust my ass. I worked my ass off, and I've always been told that hard work pays off, and that you work hard, you get opportunities.
Amen.
Right.
But I feel like when it came to Mike, like no matter how hard I worked,
It was
I would
never good
get
enough.
those opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. And like when I was younger, I didn't see those things. Some people would try to point it out to me, but man, I was just in a different place. I was so positive, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I didn't see that stuff. Like
Nope.
like, whatever. I'm like, no way, this dude is my trainer. Like if anyone's got my back, it's this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like that was my attitude. Like I couldn't accept that someone who, you know what I'm saying, you looked up to as a trainer and someone that's gonna help you achieve your dreams
Right.
would ever try to do something that would prevent that. So, that's the kind of relationship that we had.
Okay.
Okay, I got one, but it's
No.
not on the
Oh,
list.
good,
It's
I
not
like
on
that.
the list.
Good.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of related to this guy. He used to be a ref. He was trained at Killer Kowalski's back in your day. Rich Lannon.
Oh, Rich.
Yeah.
Man, I know Rich. I know Rich. Rich is from like Steve King and Tim McNeely's era.
Yes.
But Rich has done some of my matches, and I've worked with Rich. We had a weird exchange online though recently. I think it was like last year or something like that. Where he said that I bullied him or something like that.
Yeah, I think his feelings are still hurt.
Yeah, I think so, man. That was like years ago,
right?
But I don't even remember it. But like, I'm not one to bully anybody.
Right.
No.
I might make fun of you for some shit, but like, it's all good, man.
Right.
It's not meant to like cause any harm or anything. It's just a laugh. It's just a good laugh.
Right.
But I always tell people, man, if I say something that hurts your feelings, man, just come up to me and have a conversation.
And be real.
That's all it takes. Like, don't, like, you know what I'm saying, talk shit behind my back or say shit like years later when I can't do anything about that shit.
Right.
Dude. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I say something to offend you or make you feel hurt, man, and you get sensitive about it, come to me, talk to me. If it's really on some bullshit, dumb shit, I might tell you that this shit's stupid. Get the away from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am. But I'm never gonna lie to you. I'm always gonna tell you what's real.
Yep.
Right.
But I never do it in a way to make you feel bad about yourself. Never. That's never my intention.
I got a story.
All right.
It's actually about Wagner and myself.
All right.
So
Let's hear it.
So when I was training and learning and doing my thing, you know, like he was talked about Dan Marati or Murad, whatever the hell you say his name. So I cleared it with Dan, which Wagner will see. He's laughing now.
I already know.
I cleared it with Dan with Wagner as saying, okay, Dan, yep, okay. So what happened was that I wanted to bring some more heat to Wagner because he was getting heat, but not as hard as he wanted it. So we talked about it. I said, why don't we do this when we do this? So it's time, and Wagner's coming out to the ring, and I'm standing there, and he looks over at me. Usually what he did was he always carried his water with him. He sipped his water. Well, this one time I told him, I said, just blast me. So he took a sip of his water, he's looking around, and he spit right in my face. Crowd is all over him, right? And I'm just standing there, and he's kind of taunting me, and I'm just like, you know, okay, yep. And I'm wiping it off, doing my thing. Well, afterwards, what we're supposed to do is after the match, he was supposed to take me, because I was like, I turned my back on him.
Right.
He was supposed to take me and throw me into the ring post. Well, Mr. Wagner Brown went a little further than the ring post and grabbed me by the scruff and ran me into the barricade. So I saw the barricade coming, so I sold it. I flipped upside down.
Right.
I smashed the barricade. I mean, I dented the barricade. Well, what happened was there was this really belligerent, ignorant person on the other side of the barricade that got hit with the barricade.
Right.
But listen. It was. She started screaming racial slurs at Mr. Wagner Brown, and she's screaming. And of course, I'm still playing the role, and so is he. He's still doing his thing. So they pick me up and they bring us out back, and Wagner and I are like, yeah, we're going crazy. All of a sudden, here come the cops. Here come the ambulances. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's laughing because I was just supposed to take a bump into the post.
Right.
Wagner took a little farther and ran with me, and I ran with him. I did a full flip, upside down, into the barrack. I mean, it was unbelievable. The crowd was all over him. Well, like I said, here come the cops. Here come the paramedics. Here come, oh yeah, they took this girl out in a stretcher.
Wow.
Oh, she totally played it. Totally played it and sued. He's laughing.
She sued?
And sued the MWF.
Wow. She didn't win it, most likely.
Oh, she won.
She won?
See? Oh yeah.
Are you serious?
I don't know what happened with any of that aftermath, but I know Dan is still mad to this day.
See?
Every time I talk to him, every time I see him, he brings that shit up.
Yep.
I'm like, man, that was a long time ago, Danny.
Right? Leave it alone.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
But,
Wow.
That's what I said. Him and I go way back,
Right?
man.
hey,
That's funny.
You know, I'm all about creating moments, and that was definitely a moment
That
for
was-
her, for Dan,
Yep.
for D, for me.
We've had some moments.
You made 4 moments out of 1.
Oh,
Nice.
tell you, Wagner and I, we totally circumvented that whole thing and just went right for it.
That's a great story. How about Evan 6?
Evan 6. Well, we've already established that he's got poor taste in movies. We've established that. Evan's a good dude, man. I got a chance to share a locker room with him a lot recently with APW.
Yep.
He's quiet, right? He sits in a corner. He's like a little bit of a loner, but he's a good dude, and he makes jokes, like, and he's real quiet when he says them, but they're really funny. You know what I'm saying? So like he makes me laugh a lot when I'm in the locker room. You know what I mean? So that's cool. But he's a good dude. He's funny. He looks the part, man, with all them tats. And
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He can do a lot if he wants to.
He's a scary looking dude. Yeah, he definitely plays the role well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he looks the part.
Yeah. I seen you said APW. How about a guy that just left APW, Big Woody?
Big Woody, man, I can't say nothing but good things about Big Wood. Woodman, he always takes care of us. You know what I'm saying? First time I met Woodman was for Knuckles Nelson's deal out there in Salisbury Beach.
Yep.
Man, what was the name? What was the name of the company? Was it? Do you remember the name of the company, D?
That's when he was. That's when he was supposedly taking over the NWA New England. Remember? And then when he got out of that,
nah, he had his own deal in Salisbury
right
Beach.
in the
Century,
in the place with the holes in the roof. Remember, people were always slipping and sliding because the roof was always. Every time we worked over there with him, it was always raining, and it was always it was always dripping into the ring or outside, and someone would fall. Matter of fact, I think it was with you and Walters, John Walt. Is it John Walters?
John Walters.
I think
Probably John was there.
You were working with John Walters one time, and he powdered out. And when he powdered out, he slipped on the water from the roof, almost broke his neck, and totally played because the crowd laughed at him, and he totally played at that time. I can't remember the name of Knuckles, what Knuckles called it back then.
I don't know. I don't
but
remember.
It was at Salisbury Beach, and that was the first time I met Woodman. And Woody's a good dude. He goes out of his way to take care of his peoples, man. And we were always, one of his peoples. Me, Bo, Jason. You know what I'm saying? Lewis.
Yep.
So just guys from that same era, Knuckles company, and then he started doing his own thing with APW, and it continued over there.
Yeah.
But I didn't see those guys for a long time between Knuckles' deal and the APW deal.
Yep.
And like when we finally linked up again, it was like that gap never happened. So, he's one of those cats. You know what I'm saying? Woody's a good dude, good man.
Are you enjoying APW, Wagner?
I was enjoying it. Yeah, absolutely. Those guys, they put on a good show.
Always a packed house.
Yeah, they had an arena out there in Northampton, was it?
Somewhere out there. Newburyport?
Yeah. Newburyport, that's it.
Yeah, Newburyport.
The Firehouse.
The Firehouse, yeah.
Yep.
So, and their fans are super.
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah. And they're always packed houses, always.
Yeah, and they know the characters, and those guys, they run a professional ship out there. They got the backstage areas all pro. The stuff that the entrance is all pro. Everything they do back there. Oh,
you mean
pro.
the gorilla? You mean what gorilla and everything is?
The gorilla position, yeah. Mm-hmm. They got a whole setup back there. So those guys are doing it right. It's almost like practice run, legit practice run for the TV companies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep. Nice. So you said you were going to be wrestling this. Is it this Saturday for Liberty States?
Yeah, Saturday for Liberty States, and then Friday for Top Rope.
Okay, so seeing that, we got to bring up a guy that was on the show not too long ago, and I actually can't put his thing up because of some of the things he said. Todd Sopel.
You can't air his
no, I can't.
Wagner,
man.
we can't air his segment.
Some of the things that he said on Facebook, he said here, and I just wasn't comfortable with a couple of words that he used.
So take those words out then.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, man. I told him he can come on again. We just can't go there. You know what I mean? We can't go there. I don't think it was very fair to the person he was talking about, who didn't do anything like that on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Was this female or male he's talking about?
No, it was a male.
It was male.
Davey.
Oh, okay.
Davey.
About Davey.
Okay.
And
every time I see Davey, he's always great to me. There was no way I was putting it out there. I couldn't.
Right.
You know?
That's the thing, man. You know, in life and in wrestling, I mean, you're gonna. We all run into the same people.
Yep.
We all interact with the same people, but we all have different experiences with those people.
Better believe
Right.
it.
You know, some people like Derek and you, Leo. I mean, you guys interact with me, and you're like, you guys, love me, right? But somebody else may be like, that guy. You know what I mean? That's the way it is.
Well, wait a minute. That's what I said before you came on.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think Todd's a great guy. You know what I mean? And like you were just saying, like some people can't stand him. I think he's a great guy, and I'll have him on the show again. I got no issues like that at all. He knows the issues that I had, and you know what I mean? And I'll have him on again because I think Todd treats me great. You know what I mean? He does.
Right. I mean,
there's no reason to not have him on again.
Right, and it's funny because I know people that are not fans of Todd.
Right,
I know
me
people
too.
that I'm close with, and but like I said, I have a different experience with him.
Right.
I worked with him in APW,
Yep.
and we had 2 good matches. He's always been respectful to me. He's never been disrespectful to me, and he's never like done anything that I can be like, I want to kill this dude.
Right.
So,
do you have someone you can talk about that about?
He wants it bad, man. He wants you to shit on somebody.
We all do. To be honest, though, man, dude, I've been in this game a long time.
Long time.
I have matured. I've had a bunch of experiences with both pros and cons.
Yep.
Right.
And I've learned from those experiences.
Yep.
And if I come across somebody now that I'm not a big fan of, that I can care less about, I just don't interact with them. I just don't deal with them.
Yep.
So instead of, I got no time to beef with people anymore. None.
No.
It takes too much energy.
Amen.
And I'd rather take that energy and put into something more positive.
Amen to that, brother.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. Now, Slyck, did you just work for Ring of Honor again recently? I thought I saw you make a post about that. Did you just work for them again?
Yeah, I did one of their tryout camps.
Okay.
So I did the last one that they had at their dojo. So
Where was that, Wagner?
That was in Philly.
It is in Philly, right? Okay.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, it was good. It was a good experience. I've been in the game a long time, and I still walked away from that, learning something new and feeling like I could be better
Yep.
to that experience. So I think anybody can benefit from that.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Good
Now,
talk.
the next name I got here is Sheldon Goldberg.
Shelly, man. I can't say it has always been good to me. Me and Sheldon go back to NWA New England days.
Yep.
Sheldon used to sell merch at Tony's shows.
Yep.
Right.
Sheldon is the first promoter to make me a heavyweight champion. So you could say he's the first guy that saw something more.
Right.
Tony also made me a champion, but it wasn't the heavyweight champion, but he also made me a champion. So he definitely saw something too. But Sheldon saw me as a guy that can lead the company.
Nice.
And that's a big plus. I mean, what we do, obviously, we don't go out there and legitimately win championships, but when a company decides to make you their heavyweight champion, it means that they believe that they can grow with you.
Amen to that, brother.
And that's a big deal. It's the same thing.
Yep.
If we go out there and win stuff on our own, I mean, we can do whatever we want, right? But in this deal, someone's choosing to do something with you.
Yep.
And I think that's way harder than going out there and actually taking it.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Better believe it. Proving yourself.
Now, I was at one of his shows. It was around Christmas time, and I Could have sworn it was you that got attacked by Santa Claus one night. Steve Bradley, was that you in the ring?
It might have been. It might have been. I remember Steve dressing up as Santa Claus. It might have been, and that's one stiff Santa. Let me tell you.
it was funny because I was selling my merchandise, right? And he comes over and he sees the Missy Hyatt book, right? I had a Missy, and he goes, "Ho ho ho! What a ho! Last time I seen her was at the not the Chris. Was it the somebody's memorial show? I want to say it might have been Chris Benoit's memorial show or something.
Right.
But and then when he, and I'm sitting there like, who is it? Who is it? So all of a sudden I see him come out again. I remember going to ringside when he pulled it off. I popped huge, just like everybody else. But I'm almost positive it was you. And I think Beth Phoenix made her not her first. She didn't have her first match, but she made her first appearance ringside with the All Nighters that night.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
Beth was in NECW in her early days because she's come up from Canada with those guys.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, she's talk about a nice person right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Beth is kind.
Oh, hey, Wagner, I got a great one for you. How about Homicide?
Oh man, Homicide. When me and D are really close even to this day, and when I decided. Because I was doing my thing in New England for a while, and I felt like it was time to branch out and do something different and meet new people and work with new people.
Yep.
So one of the first places I went was Jersey All Pro.
Okay.
I sent Fat Frank, R.I.P.
Yep.
An email. Yeah, it was email back then. Yeah. So I sent him an email, and. I told him, I'm looking to branch out, trying to work some new places and work in front of some new people. And he jumped at the opportunity to have me come down.
Nice.
So me and April went down there, and D was one of the first people I meet, and Charlie Haas and Russ,
Yep.
Those guys were there. Jay Lethal was there, young Jay Lethal.
Yeah, because he got free training, right, down there. I think.
I don't even think he was in the game yet.
Okay.
Wow.
But I remember him, and the Hit Squad.
Yep.
Hit Squad was.
We're big fans of them guys.
Yeah. So D was always cool to me, and we clicked immediately, and before long we were working with each other, and like. Every time I went down to the Jersey area or whatever, we were always on the same shows together. So, we clicked and we spent a lot of time together. And D's a good dude,
Good
man.
people.
He's a good dude. He's another one I likes his Bob Marley. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, he
yes,
does.
sir.
I've actually Bob Marleyed with him and the next guy I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you about, Julius Smokes.
Oh, yeah. That's another Bob Marley fan right there.
There he is.
I used to love my Bob Marley too, No, but Jay is he is. You talk about a talker, man, and a character,
Yeah.
and energy. I did some shows with him in Urban Wrestling Federation.
Yeah,
Yep.
the UWF. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, and he was on commentary there, but just seeing him like. I reflected on the Jersey All Pro stuff, and then what he was doing there with the commentary.
Right.
Jay is just, I'm like, man, how come nobody like on the majors like ever took an opportunity to
Grab
put him on
right.
camera
Agreed.
or put him on the microphone
Yep.
Right.
to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like this dude. Like if I came to a show and Jay came out and cutting promos, doing what he do. I have I can only be excited about what I'm about to see.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because he has a shitload of energy.
Yeah,
Yo,
he
yeah.
does.
And like when it comes to promos, he's
he
unbelievable.
cuts him like one of the best. You better believe it.
Unbelievable. And you believe everything that he's saying.
Right. Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's one thing to cut a promo, but it's another thing to make it believable.
Right.
Right.
Well, we got a few minutes left. You want to plug some stuff? Plug yourself, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, come
your
on.
shows, your school.
Let's let these people find you, Wagner.
Yeah, I'm all about the TOS Dojo now, man. Test of Strength Wrestling. So it's in the Watertown, Connecticut, like you guys said, 127 Echo Lake Road.
Okay.
We got a good team that we got a good team over there. We're trying to build our brand. We're looking for some, guys, girls that are hungry and, not just say that they're passionate about what we do, but actually are passionate about what we do. And that means a lot of work. You got to put in a lot of work.
Do you have anybody up and coming in there right now, Wagner?
Yeah, man, I got Ty Shine is one of my guys. He's been doing some stuff up here in Connecticut, and he's doing some stuff in Mass. I know Pat Dillon, UFO.
Yep.
Got him coming on his deal in April.
April vacation
19th?
show.
Yeah, April 19th, right?
Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
correct.
So I know Ty will be on that. I'm trying to get him. I think he will be doing some stuff with APW.
Nice. Very good.
I had another guy, Johnny. He was doing a El Tornado gimmick.
Okay.
But he had to take a break for a minute because he just had a kid like a few months ago. But he's got a ton of potential. I think that if he just decided to focus and put all his energy into what we do, he can do a lot of big things because he definitely has a potential. But having potential and doing it is two different things.
I want to say something on a personal level, Wagner. We got like a minute here, but you and I know each other for a long time, brother. And I want to say that number one, I'm proud of you. You've done a lot of good things. I watch a lot of you. I still talk to a lot of our boys together that still talk about you today. Love you from the bottom of my heart, man, and I'm happy for all your success, and I hope you keep on going. I'm very proud of you, brother.
Thank you, D.
One love, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
One love. Appreciate you.
What he said, and I've been a fan of yours since the start, since the first time I saw you. You've always been good to me. You know what I mean? I appreciate that very much, brother. I really do.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is that it?
I think we got to get you on here again, though, brother.
Yeah, real quick. You want to plug the shows you're doing this weekend again?
Yeah, Top Rope Promotions this Friday, March 10th, in I believe Brockton, Mass.
Yep.
Then we have Liberty States Wrestling on March 11th. That's Saturday.
Yep.
That's in Peabody, Mass.
Yeah,
correct.
At the McCarthy School. I do know that because that's where he runs it all the time. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys will find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. This is SWB. You can find me on Instagram, SWB for real. You can find me online, swbforreal.com. You can definitely find me on that computer. Just put in my name.
Wagner, thank you again. Thank you so much for coming on, brother. I love you.
Thanks, man.
I love you too, man. Thank you, guys.
Take care. Guys,
That's the Ring and All of Sports.
Yep.
Love you, Wag.
Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.